Hello and welcome to the N.M.E magazine March 2024 update. Thank you, all of you who have been with me since the very beginning of this channel and the N.M.E magazine website, and a warm welcome to all of you who've only just discovered my little place here on the internet in the last few weeks or even days. N.M.E magazine is a place for music fans and collectors to just dive into our passion, our love of music and collecting all formats. This is a multi-format channel, so you'll see me talking about vinyl records and CDs. And just like the name suggests, being like a magazine, it's a throwback to, for those of you who grew up in the UK, New Musical Express, Sounds, Melody Maker. It's multi-genre. So you'll see me talking about lots of things, from heavy metal to progressive rock, to soul, to funk, to jazz, to classical, to folk, pop, anything. And I produce a lot of content. And what it's been an absolute delight to see is people come in and obviously introduce themselves to some music and records and box sets they were unaware of or didn't even know they were going to like. And some people just come in because they like certain things that I do and they just watch that content and just let the other stuff pass by. Because I want this to be a place just like those papers where you can come in and you don't know what quite to expect next. It is pretty rock centric because that's how I grew up. But as I've got older, I've realised that I just don't really know what I don't like anymore. And my passion for music has not diminished at all. What I've got coming up is I am kind of restructuring what I do. I've taken on board a lot of what everyone said, all the feedback I've had, how the channel, YouTube obviously in particular, has been growing, and what works and what doesn't work so well. But equally what I want to try and cover, because it's very important to me that I try and support new music and keep the flag for physical music flying as high as I can. So the kind of shows or kind of little chapters or videos you can expect from me going forward, and some of you being with me a while will recognise some of these. Music Biz Chat, that's basically a weekly event where I'll talk about how I see the world of music evolving, especially on CD sales and vinyl sales. I love both formats, even cassettes. And I'll talk about what's going on with the UK #1 chart, but equally I'll talk about what my feelings are and my insights to do with the music industry. That episode is also going to start to include new release news. So the stuff that I hear about through the radar, because I do get early alerts from lots of PR companies now, I will give you advanced information about what's on the horizon, what's going to be released, whether it's on vinyl, CD or box set. So that will be literally a weekly show. The others are ranking videos. These are popular, aren't they? And everywhere. And I haven't done as many of those as I should have done. And the ones I have done have been incredibly popular. So Phil's ranking videos are going to be becoming more regular in what we're going to do. And as I promised, there is going to be Deep Purple live ranking video and a UFO one, and some lesser known bands as well. Classic album review. This is continuing because I know what a lot of you love is my passion for talking about what it was like at the time when these records emerged. And I know a lot of younger viewers, and that doesn't take much to be younger than me, like to hear about what it was like when some of these records, albums were released, maybe because you weren't quite around at the time when they first emerged. So there's going to be a lot more of those, and they're incredibly popular, and I love doing them. I really, really do. New album and box set reviews. This is a staple part of what N.M.E magazine is about. So it's like a buyer's guide, helps you to see what's coming out, what's under the lid. And I think that some of the videos I do from my unboxing stuff is probably the most detailed you can find on the internet. So I go through every single page, everything you can possibly want to see, so you can see what you get for your money. And that's box sets as well as albums, vinyl and CD. Classic box sets. I love doing these as well because this is a chance to talk about box sets you may have missed A lot of us, I know, are always searching for some box sets on Discogs or eBay, and you're worried about, is it worth that amount of money? What actually is it like? I always feature those, and there's quite a few coming up, which I'll talk about in a moment. The podcast and the interviews, I've got more of those coming up, and I've been really lucky. To talk to some fantastic artists, the kind of artists I never believed a year ago I'd be able to have access to talk about. And it's great to have your feedback. And I think, maybe because of love of guitar, I'm a musician myself, I'm a fan. So a lot of the questions I come up with to talk to the people I do, as you say, you can see in their faces that it's not what they expected. You can see them almost relax. And some of the interviews have gone on for a lot longer than I guess even the artists thought they were going to. But they've been an absolute dream to do. They really have. Album of the day or the week. This is part of celebrating what we already have, and this is looking at a specific album that I've rediscovered in my collection and something I just want to share with you. Music and Mental Health is a series that there's a video once a month because, as you know, the tagline for Now Spinning magazine is music is the healer and the doctor, and music has really helped me in my mental and physical health throughout the years, and it's just things that I want to share with you, and it's wonderful to know that video series is helping so many people around the world. New Music Roundup is something I've dabbled with, but it's going to become more regular because the amount of stuff that I get access to and get sent as well, especially new bands, and sometimes I can't commit a whole video to a brand new CD release, but I want to try and do my best to expose bands that I'm discovering that I want you to know about as well. And so I'm thinking of ways of doing that, and so it'll be a show which I combine quite a few releases into one video. Special features, as the name suggests, it's going to be real deep dives into specific things. I'm not going to mention what those are at the moment, but that it's really exciting. Meet the Collector. This is a new podcast initiative where I'm going to be interviewing and chatting to people just like you and me who collect CDs and vinyl, and it will be talking to just people, as I say, just normal collectors, although there will be some artists in there as well where I'm talking to, and just talking about specific artists that people collect and why and their passion for them. And I love this, even if it's an artist I don't like, because I love to see people's passion for music and collecting things, and how music has affected them throughout their life and become the soundtrack of our days, really. So that's brand new. And the other one that's brand new, and I'm very excited about this, and this has been triggered by a lot of your feedback. It's a new series called The Decades That Defined Rock, although it may also feature things outside of rock, but let's just stay in that place for now. Of my vintage, I grew up in the 70s, just at the tail end of the 60s. So this is a chance for me to pick literally the albums that have meant the most to me in my life, the ones that have really been ingrained into my life and the things that have happened to me. And I'm going to discuss those and talk to you as I do and these things. And there'll be lots of classic albums, there'll be lots of stuff that you may not expect. But this is a chance for to really dive into the 70s, the year by year, month by month, into the stuff that I was spending my pocket money and first wages at work at, and really telling you the tales, those Friday night stories and the stories, etc., that have defined the music in my life. And of course, as it says, the decades, I'll be going into the 80s, 90s and beyond, because music has not stopped influencing my life and how it has unfolded at all. And some of you want to know, Phil, will you talk about my time when I was playing in bands and stuff? Because there has been a couple of times when I've mentioned that. And of course, the music at the end of my videos is written by myself. So the story about that, and I've got some great stories about being on the road and trying to become a rock star as well. So some of those are going to be coming forwards as well. And also, what else have we got? Plus, there'll be, yes, I've mentioned the new release news. Coming up Also on the channel, and people have asked about this, Phil, can I get a Now Spinning Magazine t-shirt? You can. They'll be launched this month as well. There's going to be some merch. There'll be some beanie hats and who knows what else, but t-shirts especially. There's a couple of 2 or 3 designs that I'm just finalising for those of you who want to have a bit of Now Spinning Magazine in your home as well. There is also the Facebook group for collectors, which is a place where people can talk about and share the music that they love. You can join that by going onto Facebook or finding it. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X and LinkedIn as well. Now, coming up on the channel is I've got box set reviews for Status Quo, Rick Wakeman. There's a lot of half-speed master vinyl stuff I want to talk about. 10cc, Carl Palmer. I've got lots of different vinyl stuff to look at and CDs, and then some classic kind of really deep stuff I'm going to be doing on Rory Gallagher, the band UK, UFO, Judas Priest and Deep Purple, and also some jazz with Return to Forever. Now, the other thing I just want to mention, and this is kind of to give you a bit of insight, a bit of background, I guess, to how I'm approaching how Now Spinning Magazine grows on YouTube and elsewhere. I was approached by somebody recently who looked at the YouTube channel and was saying how impressed they were with how it was growing. But did you know, Phil, you could be growing this channel far faster than you currently are? And obviously, being a normal human being, trying to, do my best here and move this forward, because this isn't a side hustle. This is what I do, which is why patrons and YouTube members are helping me do more of this. But I thought, well, obviously, if I grow the channel more, then obviously it's going to be better for me, in being able to do this and commit more time to it. And so, this person was saying, what you need to do, Phil, you need to have titles of videos like 10 albums that shouldn't have been made, or bands that should not, should give up and not release anything else, or classic albums that actually are overrated, and this kind of stuff. And I thought about this, and I thought, I understand how this works. It's a bit like watching a soap opera on the TV. If everyone was being positive and being friendly with each other, you wouldn't watch it. People watch these things for the drama, for the clickbait, yeah. For the kind of making you almost get angry if I do a video about saying, albums that shouldn't have been made, or albums that that killed off a band's career, then there's going to be someone who says they totally disagree with that, and that's good for viewers, it's good for clicks, and you can see how that would grow the channel, and lots of people do that. I can't do that. One of the reasons why I know a lot of people like what I do is my almost unending, not going to say childlike, but sense of wonder, my enthusiasm for what I do here, and my enthusiasm for talking about music and introducing it to those of you who didn't know that was there, or maybe playing something you hadn't played for years. I can't be enthusiastic about negativity. I find it impossible to be happy and enthusiastic if I'm actually being negative, and also to say that an album is overrated is a personal opinion, and for somebody out there it could be their favourite album. It could have been the album that they played when they met their partner, or it was an album that they were playing when their mum or dad passed away or something. I'm very sensitive to using words that are kind. I find it very difficult to add to the negativity that there is on the internet or whatever. And that isn't because I'm, being a snowflake. I'm from the 70s. That was before health and safety was invented. But I just feel that where I am in my life and the stage where I am in my life and the things that have happened around me, I just want to be a light in the darkness, and I don't want to add any more kind of frenzy of negativity. And also, I'm a musician, and I'm married to a musician, and that's my wife Sue behind me, and my two sons are musicians. And I've been surrounded by musicians all my life, and I know what it's like to make an album. And it's not like making coffee cups, and if someone decides that this is a silly looking coffee cup, if you work for that factory that makes those, you'd probably think so. But if it's a song or music and someone criticises it, even if it's flippant or whatever, you've opened up to create that, whatever it is. And I know there is some music that people don't like, but there'll be somebody somewhere that probably loves it and it's the best thing they've ever heard. Gosh, I've just spent ages saying that, but I guess so. You're not going to find those kind of titles for video series on Now Spinning magazine, but there are loads of really fantastic channels that do that, and I think it's great that they can do that, and they're incredibly successful and popular. I think, and my hat goes off to them. I think that it's fantastic they can do that, but I can't. I just can't be enthusiastic about doing anything that in any way can be perceived as being negative or unkind. Everything I want to do here is about being positive and being supportive and just embracing the love of music. I mean, how could I do a series called Music for Mental Health if the next video I did was basically then saying, 10 albums you should avoid and never hear in your life or something? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so that's I've got coming up, and I've mentioned everything. Yes, there's also Robin Trout feature coming up as well. So thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for staying to the end of this little video. And if you want to help me a little bit more and become a supporter, you can become a patron. You can cancel at any time, become a YouTube member, or you can just buy me a coffee at Ko-fi. And that all of those things help. But I say thank you again. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. So take care, keep spinning those discs, and I shall see you all very, very soon.